Let's go with it, brothers.
Last session. Where did we begin? Trying to remember where we started last session.
We just collected the sash and then going back up out of the three or that large chamber with the 3 shelves or something. Where we
Yeah.
fought the giant skeleton.
Yeah. Oh man, that was such a blur. So many things happened.
It was an emotional 4 hours.
Yeah, that was a ride.
Yeah.
I know pretty much what happened after we met up with Amon Call. But I up until that point I cannot remember what happened. Aside from collecting sap and making our way back.
We made our way back and we didn't. I don't think anything happened while we were in that big chamber. I think we just climbed out.
Something happened.
Oh,
You guys.
Oh yeah. I
Oh
remember.
yeah. Oh
There was
shit.
the-
Now I
there was
remember.
the
Yep.
creepy
Yep.
soul people that were trying to like
Yep.
angle us. And
We fucking ran.
we basically we just ran. Trying to
Right, I
outmaneuver
remember that
the ghostly Avarans. I used the Aether Spear to attack some people. But for the most part everybody did really well in escaping.
I ran.
Yeah, we all ran real
we
good.
ran.
Bless you. After making our way out of that big chamber, we went down the 3rd passageway. And oh yeah, we heard sobbing like from way off in the distance inside of the next big cavern that we went into.
Yep.
We found a weeping Avaran girl who was also pretty ghostly, holding on to a tablet.
Found a bunch of lore.
Yeah. Lore here.
Lore drop.
The people who approached were Melina, Zed, and there was a 3rd person. But as they approached, they were just like, "Hey there, how's it going?" And then did poorly on their persuasion checks, I think it was.
It doesn't speak English. Or Galactic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like Zed couldn't even really communicate.
I was
Right.
Yeah, kind of.
And then Melina kind of communicated with
Yeah.
her.
Yeah, and then whatever was said, and it started to have that like Banshee's whale look coming onto its face. And then Amon Call was just like, "Whoa there, hey, chill. These guys, they're kind of okay, I guess, maybe." And we were like, "Okay, what fresh new hell is this?" And we saw Isel and Flare, and we're like, "Okay, really, what fresh new hell is this?" And we confirmed their identities, and we're like, "Oh, okay. For once, this
We were highly
dungeon is
skeptical.
not trying to fucking kill us or ruin our day. We can catch a break."
This is a fun place.
It's a great place. Probably my first choice for a vacation home. So
Checks out.
so we talked for a bit and went over what was necessary. We found out that we had to, after showing him on call the tablets we had and rearranging them into the appropriate configuration, I fused them, and we were informed that we had to place the tablet in a specific place in the well to stop the mirrored Amon Call from like siphoning souls and gaining more power.
Which were moving concentrically on the floor.
That was pretty cool. We
Which was dumb. Something
Yeah,
like
it was
that.
really
You know?
I think he meant dumb in the sense that really made the fight really like a pain in
No,
the ass.
I know. I was commenting on how the tablet had to be arranged in the floor.
Yeah, it's designed to annoy you specifically. Is the
We
player.
were we
As
came
most
up with
things
a
are.
plan. Well, we found out that if we wanted to get our friends back, there was a chance if we purged the bodies of the whatever was ruining our lives, they could then like repossess their bodies essentially with the sap, or no, I mean like with the use of the sap. So we formulated a plan with that, the tablet, and then there was a third thing that we didn't know exactly what was going to happen. We just knew Amon Call would have to do something, and we went from there, passing in and out of pockets of Soul World, and
The ethereal plane. I
and
guess.
before we entered, we knew that we wouldn't be able to see them, and we said our goodbyes and our good lucks, and one of a very taxing level 5 BBG fight ensued, where
Highly taxing.
I could see through a one-way mirror into the ethereal plane. So nobody could see me, aside from the people who were on the
It allowed you
regular
to be
planes.
like very key across both fights instead of just being.
Yeah, it was really
in
cool.
one fight.
It was weird.
It's a really
Um,
dope weapon. Really cool use of it.
And we fought some Dehesa and some henchmen, and a really big thing. I think it was called a void something.
Titan. Void Titan.
Void Titan. That thing
Dang.
fucking sucked.
I don't know what you're talking about. I had a great
That
time.
thing was fucking gross. We also fought Azazel, so that was cool. Just stuck to Zed the whole time.
Yeah.
Um, which was not bad. It was just, I imagine, for Weston, it was pretty annoying. But
Yeah.
it was a really cool rogue.
Yeah. No, I had like 1 million health.
And that's every enemy we fight. So, after having placed the tablet in, we caused Amon Call to fight Amon Call, and
Made him go sicko mode.
God, there was so many things happening in that fight. We wrestled the two bodies to the ground.
Well, yeah, it was 2 fights at once.
Yeah. We force fed the bodies the sap, and we got flare back, which was really useful. Huge boon. And then we got Isel to also eat the sap, which was helpful.
I mean, it stopped Isel from fighting against you guys.
It's
Yeah.
true. That was a pretty big
The
deal.
body wasn't possessed anymore,
Um,
which was good because if I remember correctly, he was kind of doing work.
yeah, he was hurting.
He was
people.
doing work on me. Yeah, Isel was definitely like nerfing me. Or at least keeping me busy all by his lonesome.
Sen floated off, pretty much nullified it to Hessa turn 1. That was awesome. You're just like, alright, you are out of the fight.
That was dope.
Oh. What is his name?
Irian.
Irian Starry-Eyed. he did a lot of work.
He helped.
He did, man.
He helped tackle Flare, I believe.
Yes.
Uh,
And
He was
then when
he
she
was
woke up,
athletic,
she
and you guys
punched him
knew
in the
Flare
face.
Yeah, you guys knew Flare would be hard to catch. What did Melina do at the beginning of the fight?
Well, they turned into a big ass fucking Hessa. That was pretty awesome. I was not aware.
Fighting her
Turned into a
protein
Hessa
ways.
and was fighting the Void Titan and some other people. She got downed at one point, and
She
then
did get knocked out of her form.
yeah, I mean that thing was pumping a lot of poison into her.
She was basically tanking the Void Titan for you guys. So.
Which was very much appreciated.
Yeah,
Um,
highly effective.
she turned into another Dehesa after we got her up.
Smaller, but still ferocious.
as combat went on, we dispatched everything but the Void Titan at a certain point, I believe. And I think at that point, Amon Call had apologized to Izel as he was overcome by his stronger half.
Yeah, he rolled.
And yeah, and Izel, being a very selfless being, decided to take on the fight themselves. And we all did our best to aid in that quest. And after calling for help from their spirit guide, is that what it is?
Yeah.
They succeeded. It was a success with failures, as Izel and the spirit guide were overcome, and Amon Call. They all disappeared. And at least for the day, we won, but we also lost. We lost one of our newer allies in a very brutal fashion.
Yes.
No matter how insufferable he was, he did not deserve the death that he got. And he died more or less a
Found
hero.
all the pieces.
We did a second search of all the rooms, just like the tablets.
Magically glued them back together.
I just picture the party coming out of the temple, and then like Sanguisan at the back pulling your body parts in a wheelbarrow through the jungle.
So we had a very sobering post-combat scene where Flare destroyed all of our emotions.
Oh yeah, which reminds me, before we go any further, Shane,
Welcome to the club.
Shane, inspiration.
Thank you.
I had multiple players talk to me
Yeah, it was
individually and unplanned about how you fucking destroyed them through that whole portion of the session.
An excellent delivery of devastating lines. Were not planned. Just oh man. So
it was a very pristine bit of role playing. Like it's perfect.
From there we cut to our us on the surface as we prepare to go back to our ship in orbit. We all say our goodbyes to Melina, and we both
She
parties
gave you
say,
guys information so you could contact her.
yeah.
She told you guys that Avara and the Green Lord, Biodome specifically, owed you a great debt.
From there we made our way onto the ship, and began our journey back to the War Secrets League. And one by one, Voss and Sanguisan had a conversation about the fairness of things and the afterlife, and why it doesn't make sense.
Voss is questioning if we knew Voss's background. Voss is questioning why this religion thing is such a huge, even though it brought him back from the dead.
Yeah.
He's very struggling with
Well, what did Aisha tell?
verses. I don't remember exactly. It's been a while since I watched that one.
She couldn't find him.
She said that she could not find
That
him.
she
Couldn't grasp him.
Yeah.
But that he
It was in a better place, or the right place.
wherever they were content.
yeah.
Yeah. Meant to be.
And one by one, we all went to our rooms, and we all fell asleep. And Flare, I don't want to skip over this. Flare got all of her memories back from all those creepy flashbacks we had been seeing. So that's a thing. And Flare woke up quote unquote, first in a it's like a forested area, right?
Yes.
Yeah, and she could hear voices.
It was on the ethereal plane.
Yeah, hear voices and what sounded like music. And as she went further and further in to go investigate, she found Isel and
Nilu
Dr. Pia, yes. Well, together. And she asked if she would like to teach Isel how to dance. And as we all fell asleep, we all found ourselves inside of this ethereal realm, Isel's boon. And we found out that Isel's spirit is more or less bound to the ship. And that was where we left off last season.
Point of reference, Flair took Isel's scarf off of him and has not taken it off.
Yeah.
I believe that Trail Walker is in your inventory.
Yeah, it is. I just want to
know
know.
that you're not attuned to it because you don't need to be, but you wear it. Yeah. Alright. Well, if there's no other season 1 highlights we want to mention, we're gonna get going.
Well done, dungeon, sir. That was a lot of fun. It was drawn out, but it never felt drawn out. It felt like there was always something happening. Like,
Intense.
well done.
Things really changed once what happened to Flair and Isel happened to Flair and Isel. It seems.
I'm gonna say this once, Matt.
Okay.
Do this shit tomorrow. I'm gonna fucking beat you up.
Well, then you can get your Dungeoneer's badge with me.
I will cut
Give me
all of
the
your
other-
audio and I will redub it myself with the stupidest shit.
Matt, whatever you do to us, I'll do to you tenfold on Sunday.
I'm gonna beat you up. Oh my god.
Hey, point of reference too. What CR level is that Dehesa that she became?
That she became.
Yeah.
So technically, it's the.
What's a regular Dehesa? Regular Dehesa first.
A regular Dehesa's CR is 4.
Okay, I got a little bit. Let's go through that.
She became like a stat block that was like a lesser Dehesa because I wanted the Dehesas to be part of a theme, which I could probably give you access to. But she also had in her possession a magic item that empowered one of her transformations to be like strong.
That's so cool.
It changed its size class and yeah. So that was always like a long con. I'd always hoped that the entire time you guys would just think she was a Strider.
I did.
Like a non-pet build.
Yeah, I totally did.
And then I could just like pop it when I felt like it would be most dramatic.
It was a cool little piece of the puzzle. It was that unexpected cool little piece
Asking
of the
for
puzzle.
a friend.
What is going on with your mic, James?
That's
I
not
don't
Mike.
know.
It's not James.
You guys, like everything's cutting out. Everything updated in the 10 minutes. My Windows system, Chrome did something. Plus my Discord, literally everything updated. So
wait, Nick, are you
Also,
saying that I
California is
need to
on
let things
fire.
lighten up a little bit?
No, I was talking about your mic. You're fiddling with your
Sounds
mic,
like-
and I could hear every single
I'm
thing.
not. I can
Sorry,
hear.
I was
No,
like
I can hear that. That's
Okay.
not me.
That was me. Is it gone?
Yeah.
That was me. Sorry.
Okay.
That's what I was.
Trying
That's
to,
what I
I
was
was
saying,
trying
it was
to
like-
tighten.
It was like hurting. I was like,
Okay.
Because it
That's
sounds.
all I was
It
wondering
sounds
about.
like when I roll dice.
Matt.
It sounds like when I roll dice to me. I was like, oh. But anyways,
Well then, let's get started. Past. We see a dusty road along a stray highway in the Imbernations. Little gas stop run by a husband and his wife. And we see their young son sitting and smiling, listening to his mother sing. Future. We see a gunslinger walking through a long dead town. Purposeful steps, up sunken stone to the doors of a church. He pushes the door open with a creak, and he pulls his hand cannon from its holster. Boots on the pavement. He dips and swings into the pews, fires 2 shots as 2 mercenaries hit the ground. Somewhere within the church, a voice. I've been waiting for you, boy. Gunslinger runs up the pews and turns to a set of stairs. He takes them and he fires another shot. Another one of the mercenaries falls off the steps and hits the ground below. As he reaches the top, a woman chained at her back spills to the ground. You found me, Zed. And it's time to finish this. Devils versus aces. My blood. Your blood. The way we knew it would end. I hope you got your dancing boots on. Present. Hopefully. If I don't have technical difficulties. A lone Stivell races across the deck of the Valentine.
Yes, we kept him. Yes.
As it does, it passes Flair. A wrench hitting the wall as she dumps out of the engine room with a mechanical part in her hand, running away from Sal, who leans out the door. Oh, fine. Take it. You take all my shit anyways. He climbs back into the engine room and slams the door shut behind him. Flair races down through the dens and out to the cargo deck. Zed, arms crossed, you lean over the railing looking below as Vosfias and Sanguisan spar back and forth with Ronan kind of walking back and forth between them, occasionally popping out the flat end of her blade and snapping at one of them to lower their knee or reset their stance. You guys are about an hour away from ending your return trip to Lore Seeker Station. It's been another day and a half since you reached the way station outside of the planet of Avara, putting you guys at about 3 days. 3 days since you left the planet. And is there anything you guys would like to do before you reach Lore Seeker Station? I will take complete silence as a no if I need to.
I personally don't have any.
What else would you take it as?
With the with that laid out before me while we're sparring, I would have probably been confirming with Sanguisan, like between like volleys of hits and like maneuvers and stuff, and I'd say that presence back there, the king, the undergrowth, that was, from what little I've read, what did that come from? The void, like the nothingness that opposes Aisha or this Biostolaris or wherever. That's what that was, right?
I don't really know.
Didn't you say something out of character? Didn't you say something, Matt, about him taking like he rolled some kind of check that said like
He rolled
hey,
a
remember
he
this.
rolled a religion check that denoted facets of the situation that made him think that it could be something void related.
Okay.
But
Okay,
he doesn't
cool.
he doesn't really know for sure. It's not
Okay.
really like his area of study.
Like I'll go through the list and I'll say, Aisha told me to protect you, but I think you may have been literal, but I think this team is more the you that I'm interpreting it as. And like I'll go through the volleys and another couple of volleys with you, and then at one point I'll kind of just like do a more furious one, and you'll see like I'll hit your axe or whatever with my spear, and like there'll be like a little reverberation around me, and all of a sudden like you guys will feel like that aura kick in. I'm gonna say it happened during those training sessions. And I mean that's pretty much it. I had asked about the void. I would spend my time if I could picking. I don't even know whose brain. Nobody's brain. Like the computer or something about the void or about whatever that the void
I mean,
could
you
be.
can go on the net and do like research into the void and stuff. The computer on the ship isn't like an artificial intelligence.
Yeah, I know. That's what I was saying. I don't really. No, I wasn't.
If
I
you
was
go on the
curious,
net, make an investigation check.
6.
You mostly find like dudes that listen to Alex Jones, Jones, like talking about how void things have like
Unironically.
infiltrated like government stuff.
You need to differentiate. I listen to Alex Jones, but ironically,
Yeah, that's a thing. All right. Well, if nobody has anything else, in the next hour, you guys do reach Lore Seeker Station, and upon admittance into the hangar bay, you land the Valentine smoothly running, and your party, as the bay door opens, comes down the ramp, and you see in front of you, stepping out into the bay, you see the kind of the wide oval-shaped platform that makes up the station's hangar bay stretching out in front of you. And as each of you, kind of in your own way, straighten yourselves up, still kind of dealing with everything that's happened in the last few days, you hear a voice. Hey, adventurers, welcome back. How was the Avara expedition? And Rax kind of like steps into view, pulling the welding goggles off of his tall face as he kind of steps away a piece of fuselage that he was working on near where your ship landed, and walks up. And he moves over to, he motions and opens an arm to hug you, Flair, as you guys are coming down the ramp.
She'll run up and hug him, and just loud enough for him to hear. She'll say, "We were successful, but at a cost."
He takes a look at the group, spends a moment in silence, and then nods his head, and he says, "Yeah, I think I get what you're saying."
we got your guy. Thumb towards Urian.
Yeah. And Irian nods to him, and he kind of looks past all of you down the hangar bay, and then he turns to Rax, and he just is the council in? And when Rax like nods and confirms, he looks to all of you and he says, "I'm sure I'll see you all later. I need to speak with them immediately." And he'll move past Rax and start to walk down the hangar bay. And Rax will look back to all of you and he'll say, "I'm sure Doyen Sung will want to see you. Let me know if you intend to stay a few days, because I'd just got some new plating in, and I think I could make an improvement on the ship before you go if I have some time." Captain. And he gives you a little bow flare.
She'll give him a weak smile and say, you know, I would never ask you to, but if you're offering, we'll take it.
I'll get right
Yes.
to it. 2-3 days tops.
I'm sure they'll be pleased.
He'll nod his head. Is there anything else you guys want to talk to Rax about? No? Alright, I mean, you guys have full access to the Warrior City Station. What do you guys want to do?
I want to go visit Lior.
Okay.
Or at
You
least
just
see if she's-
walk away from the group.
I'm gonna follow.
No,
Flora.
she'd probably look to the group and say, I'd really like to check on Lior and see if she's okay. We should definitely talk to Doyen's Song at some point, but maybe later.
I don't know about later. I think we might want to be there at the same time that Irian talks to her. Make sure the story is lines up
Damn,
across all of
son.
our things.
Got anywhere to be, Aaron?
You're
Didn't Yuri
walked
leave?
away.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I didn't know you walked away.
That's
Yeah,
why
he
not.
asked if the council was in, and Rax said yeah, and then he left.
Okay.
You make a good point, Voss. Maybe we should follow him and give our side.
But I would like to check on the girl too. I would like to go with you to check on the girl as well.
Something tells me he'll fill it with some flowery imagery.
Doubt it.
Alright, so you guys want to head?
That was anything but a flowery expedition.
Yeah, but he's not Aryan. He was in his element. Lion.
My point exactly.
So you guys want to head to where?
Wherever the council would meet,
Doyen.
I guess.
And you get
Yeah,
yeah. Okay. You want to take them straight to the council chambers, Claire?
I think so. Because I don't technically know where Lior is, right?
You would know where to go to like talk to somebody to find Leori. Like you know where like there's a few kids that live here. So for various reasons, you know where like the daycare and schools are and
I
the
think she
schoolroom
would.
is and
I
stuff.
think she would feel like she needs to be present for this conversation, so she would probably take them to Doyen's Song.
Okay, so you want to go to her office at the library?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. So together you guys head over to the library. When you reach the library, you look up to her office and you would see that it doesn't indeed appear that she's in. So you guys head to the back of the library and then up this column of steps and across to her high office. And as all of you enter, she raises her gaze from the computer screen that makes up part of the surface of her desk and crosses her hands in her arms and says, Flair, I sensed you. I'm glad to see you've returned, and it seems as you've brought back Irian as well. All of you, enter. Close the door behind you.
She'll step forward and say, yes, Doyen, we managed to find Irian, and well, we brought back as many as we could, but it seems both teams suffered some losses. She kind of just messes with the scarf.
Your
I'm close to
beacon,
you.
the beacon did no good, and we just felt we had to go.
She nods her head slowly and she says, yes, an additional search party was sent, but they were late to contact and their beacon never went off as well. We were planning another excursion to leave tomorrow.
The place we found Irian was quite dangerous. I think it's best not to send more expeditions there until the people of Avara can possibly reclaim it, or at the very least study it.
She nods her head and she looks over all of you and she says, As you must know, I am a scion. And when you have practiced our art as long as I have, it is impossible to not glean some things, even accidentally. I can feel the loss in my office now. She leans back in her chair slightly, and she reaches out with her hands, and she begins to telepathically move and pull seats from the sides of the rooms forward. She says, "Sit. Tell me what happened while you were there, and the outcome, so we know best how to proceed next."
Flair will take a seat, but she'll look to. She'd probably look to Zed, kind of sadly, and she'll say, "Well, I don't know if my perspective is the right one to tell here."
Go ahead. It's fine. Tell your side, and we'll look to everyone else. We'll say what happened on our side.
I think it's important that you also tell your complete side, Flair, since you and Isa were on the other side for a significant amount of time.
As you guys go back and forth, her eyebrows are just kind of slowly raising and then start to twitch slightly.
She's kind of like she has like the scarf around her neck with like the two like one end of it is longer than the other, and she's kind of just like stroking it back and forth, and she'll say
Because it'll just be fingers on the table, like scratching.
Yeah, she'll say, "Well, Dorian, when we arrived and we found the beacon didn't work, our guide, Melina, she took us deeper into these temples of the Avara, but I think they were not exactly in use anymore. However, once we entered, we found a labyrinth of sorts, where some kind of power was bringing the ancient Avarans back to life. And we struggled against them for a while, and then she just kind of looks down and trails off."
I know I said I should protect her, but she saw something that only she and our friend, you'll just get quiet. I let them go and they died.
She'll look up at Zed, like snap her head up at Zed, and she'll say, "Zed, it wasn't your fault. We were too curious."
I said I'd protect you. And I did. I just kind of smile at her. But
Well, Flair is here now, isn't she?
yeah, but
Yeah.
Faisal looks at everyone else. She's back now, but doesn't make you feel any less bitter hearing it happen.
No, I suppose it would not.
Flair will start going into detail about
Yeah.
what she saw.
She listens very patiently, and as you guys give her all the details, and as you guys finish up, she nods her head and says, and then all of her features sharpen and perk up for a moment, and then she turns and she looks at you, Flair, and she says, "I believe that you will be requested for audience from the entire Council of Doyens soon. They have learned of the full losses, and I'm sure they'll want to hear every side of the story.
Of course.
Be ready for that. Until then, Flair, any of you that want to should go see Leon. We have also noticed surges in her power, but there have been no completely negative consequences yet, and we believe that with time she will be able to control it as you have.
Is she safe here? Is she happy?
She's still a little distant. It takes time to get used to new surroundings, especially when you are unique. And then she's going to turn to Sanguisan and Voss, and she's going to say, as for the two of you, your timing is impeccable. Just a few hours ago, someone showed up seeking you from the lighthouse. You should probably go see them.
Who would that
They've been
be?
waiting a while. He would not introduce himself to me, but he had proper insignia and proof. He called himself a hunter.
Well, we
Do I know what that means?
She'll nod her head, and she'll say, I'm sure Flair can show you on her way to Lior. There's a extensive receiving area, and he's been waiting in a lounge there.
Do I know what a hunter is?
Make a religion check. Sanguisan, you can too.
Yikes. Not good to start the day. 9.
You guys aren't sure.
We
There's
are the
many
most
different.
religious
There's many different.
people ever.
Aisha's order has like the most facets of different people that do different things, and it's the most extensive.
Okay.
So
Yeah, I'll look at Sanguisan and say, don't know why we're expected. That's slightly ominous, but we were talking about this very thing on the way back.
Perhaps he brings news.
Oh, not on my head.
she nods her head. Is there anything else any of you needed from me?
Thank you for trusting us with this mission. Yes, we had losses, but we also learned a lot.
And I'm sure we'll be talking about that with all of you as the council soon.
Did have
We'll kind of
one
like do like a little bow.
Yes, Sanguisan.
Well, as you know, one of yours, Fula, passed away while we were down there.
Yes.
There is a chance, however slight, that if we were to take him to the lighthouse, he may be able to come back. However, if you don't wish that, we can give you his body. So you can give his last rites.
Irian had already prepared transport of all body, and all of them are currently being inspected for the possibility of return. Though, from what details, and she taps her head, I've managed to glean, would be difficult due to his physical condition.
Yes. Oh, he's the only one I was able to close enough. His body should not be decomposing at all for at least a few more days.
She nods her head. The attempt will be made I'm sure, within minutes. Sorry, buddy.
No, just like in an awkwardness, like we have the
Conditions.
parts of him.
He's a twerp, but he didn't deserve that.
Let's make a roll. Okay. Is there anything else you guys want to talk to her about?
I have a question.
Of course, Ronan.
You haven't heard anything, any major news coming out of Emeritus, have you?
Hey!
News as to what?
Just,
She smiles at you as she asks that.
just news. Nothing.
She'll nod her head and give you a thin smile before saying, "I'll keep my ear to the ground for you."
Thank you.
Just news.
All right, as you guys leave her office,
I'll-
how is? Oh, yes.
I'll be the last one out. Yeah.
Okay.
I'll just be the
Alright.
last one.
Everyone else leaves the office.
I'll stand up and follow them, and right before I shut the door. I really am sorry for what happened to Flair back there. I didn't know I cared that much. Let's say, and then like looking at the four, and he's gonna look about bitter.
She'll look at you and she'll kind of nod her head, and then she'll say, "Then you can only imagine how I felt, realizing what I had sent my daughter into."
Yeah, I guess. Still hot. And shut the door. I wink and shut the door.
Oh, man.
She already knew, bro. She already knew. He's sending those signals without actually.
That's what he
sending
likes
signals.
about it. He can't
Yeah.
trick this one. She can read right through him.
No tricks, man.
The ultimate hunt.
As you guys leave,
Can't use your
Lior
cell
going
phone.
to Flair going to check on Lior, and Sanguisan and Voss going to meet this stranger. What would Zedimon like to do?
I would actually look at Flair when we got out the door, and I would say, Sanguisan and I do have business now that we did not know of, but are you okay with us going there? Would you still like us to go with you, see Leo?
No, this visitor of yours sounds important. I can't imagine they would come all this way if it weren't. It's okay. Lior will be here. She is safe.
Sure.
You'll have to forgive me if I don't accompany you to meet your Aisha's liaison.
They're big boys. They can handle
I could
themselves,
not tell.
right?
I could not see why you would not join us, Ronan. Of course, you would be welcome.
She'll
What are
smirk
the,
and nod.
I would look at Ronan and say, what are the chances that the mysterious follower of Aisha is a scion as well?
You guys are big boys. You can handle yourselves.
What do the two of you want to do?
I'm gonna follow Flair.
Okay, you're gonna go see Lior with Flair.
Yeah, I'm interested to see Lior's progress.
Oh, are you?
Alright.
I'll look at Sanguisan, I'll
Ronan,
say,
don't
with any
forget who
luck.
else is here?
That is
with
true.
any luck, you know this mysterious man already.
Well, since Shane just walked away, we're gonna go with the two of you
Yeah.
first.
Yeah.
The two of you split off from them as you turn left and they turn right, heading over to the small section of like little school rooms that they have for the children of researchers and people that live on the station. You guys split into what you see is an expansive unit of like rec rooms, as well as like kind of like lounge places, and even like basically like bars and that kind of thing. And eventually, you reach like it's a little bit more public of a hangar bay area where they probably receive like guests of more renown or public guests, whereas you guys kind of came in like through the back hangar where like that the explorers use and stuff. And you guys are led to a medium-sized, like 50 by 30 waiting room. And as you enter, you see only a single person inside waiting. Ian, would you like to describe your character?
Faux cheesy.
Nice.
You see a fairly tall Dran wearing like light armor and with a bow on his back, a very fine bow that you, I don't know, might recognize as a
Make religion
something.
checks.
Yeah.
I don't have art for it yet, unfortunately. What'd you get?
20.
Alright. Okay.
Nine.
This thing was not good. 9.
Both of us have only +2 to religion. I would just like to point that out. That's
In
fucking funny.
the massive celestial crash course of lessons that you got, Voss, one of the things that really stuck with you was kind of like the more mythical like artifacts in your order, and you do actually recognize this bow as one of those.
I'm assuming it was made by Gallic.
Yes, it was.
But
Pretty dope.
yeah, he upon your arrival will get up from like sitting cross-legged in apparent meditation, and he'll look to Sanguisan and say, "Sanguisan, it is an honor to meet you. You are quite the talk of the lighthouse, especially given the circumstances of your friend here. Boss Vias, I presume."
So, yes, I am boss. And you have a interesting looking weapon strapped to your back.
A singular mind, I see.
Let's say. But did you come by it as fortuitously as I did? And he'll kind of like laugh at that, like.
I don't get it, but...
No.
I think he's referencing Light Piercer.
Yeah,
Oh, wait.
that's what I thought he was referencing. I thought he was referencing the fact that I also have a
Legendary.
particularly nice weapon. That's all.
But, oh, right. I would say, you can both relax. You are not in any trouble. I am here to help. It's my understanding that the Red Army... Wait.
Red Fleet.
Fleet, that's it. I was like, that's not right.
Straight up Cold War Russia.
Red Scare.
Red
It's my
Wings.
understanding.
Jimmy Carter isn't down. Alright, I'm done.
It is my understanding that the Red Fleet has made an attempt on your life.
That they have.
They attempted to end all of our lives. I'm very certain.
I do think
Should
that
they
was mostly
attempt-
because you were all with me.
That's fair.
That seems a fair assumption, given your history. I'm here to make sure that, should they attempt to do so again, they are also unsuccessful. But regarding this matter, the Council would like a word, and your account.
Do they wish us to head back?
At your own pace, yes. There is no rush, but they do need to speak with you.
It's a pretty sweet composite bow.
Off! Wait. Matt? Matt?
You're muted, bro.
What's up? What's wrong?
Is there any chance that it can be an analog weapon, or?
Oh. Yeah.
I didn't think about that. Like, I just assumed it would be.
That's fine.
Okay, cool.
I mean, I wasn't planning on making it like to have any advanced mechanical stuff. It's supposed to be like a magic.
Okay, cool. Yeah.
So it can't
This
be
looks
hacked.
fancy. Okay, cool.
It's more like steampunk than it is like.
It's just like
It's
because
just-
of my my like racial
Yeah,
sub race or whatever. Yeah.
So, anyways.
For sure. And that's the first time I've seen the picture of it. But,
Well, that's because Nick sent it to me like 30 seconds ago when I sent it.
that's what I thought. I was like, huh, did that just take forever to load? That's weird. Anyways. Do you still have business at this facility? If so, I am more than willing to wait. I am curious to get to know you.
Technically, you've committed to like 2 to 3 days. I'm sorry, this is my fault. Your character also has a letter for Sangusan.
Oh, okay.
Like an actual handwritten letter.
Gotcha. In the meantime, this is for you. And I'll hand you the letter.
My bad.
It's all good.
Alright. Opening the letter, you see it's written in Galactic. There's a slight glow of light to the ink of the lettering though. And the letter says, I have watched in accordance with the sojourn. I have seen what imperils you, my apostle, and I am not afraid, for you are strong, and even in the face of great challenge, I feel only your hope and care shining through. With what haste you can muster, you should return to the lighthouse for counsel and aid. May fire light your trail, Aisha.
Oh shit.
Keep in mind, Aisha is the most direct interacting
True.
celestial.
Yeah.
Also, she's the only one who's physically in the galaxy at this point. So
Makes Sundays interesting.
yes, it does. It makes all the playtest campaigns interesting. I mean, she's also very limited because she's basically a ball of fire. So
yeah.
But she can do cool things like that. Yeah. So that's the letter. Did you guys get his name?
Nobody asked.
What might we call you?
Call me Yogar.
Yogar.
If you prefer, Wanderer of Io, but it is, unlike most things, simpler in my tongue.
Nice to meet you, Yoga.
You as well. I look forward to this journey.
And say, is that invitation extend to me as well? Does the council want to, or Aisha, or whoever wants to talk to Sangusan want to talk to me too? Not that I would not come along, I just did not know if that was... I've never been there before, I don't...
Assume anywhere
Yeah,
they ask me to go, my Templar will also go.
Something you will learn at the lighthouse.
Okay, that was my understanding.
Are needed.
I would say, well, like Sangusan said, we're here for at least a ship is being upgraded, I guess, by our mechanic friend. And after that, we had not brought it up with the group, but I do mean to visit the lighthouse as soon as possible, seeing as I've never been there, and this seems like a perfect opportunity. So we'll talk with our group. Is our group welcome? I know that is not always the case with outsiders or non-followers.
There are few who are not welcome at the lighthouse, though certain things are for true believers only.
Kind of like nod his head and say, just nod his head.
Do you guys want to go to meet up with them now? And do you want to take Yogar with you?
Yeah, why not?
Real quick, I had to get up for a second. I apologize. What species is Yogar?
You want to re-describe yourself for him?
yeah.
I mean, I also shot up the. Oh, and you know what? I need to journal in the art for all you guys here.
Ah, okay.
Is it there now?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Yogar, okay.
Grand boys.
It's not pronounced like that, but okay.
Well, yeah, I know, but when you said Yogar, I was thinking
Like why?
like yogurt.
J. I was thinking J, actually.
Someone does know the origin of the name Arthur. Anyways.
Did you do that again?
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
But not
I was
really.
wondering that. I was like, there's no way that's a coincidence.
No, it's specifically like it in Dran it means wanderer of Io. But
Which is
It's
like his like all the Dran have canonically had titles so far. That's because that's been their names in Galactic, which they do go by if they want. But he's
this one just sounds cleaner in
his is
in
simply
Dran.
Dran.
And he was. Sorry, last question. He was carrying this bow,
Yeah, he's carrying.
Yeah, it's on my back.
and Boston Sanguisan just recognized it, basically.
Boston.
Voss did.
Okay, Boston, right. Okay.
Oh right. Yeah, he's a tall Dran, wearing like light armor. Yeah. So
So you guys are gonna head to meet them and introduce your guys' apparently new muscle. In case the Red Fleet shows up again.
So you're more than welcome to join us in our business at the station until we leave.
Yes. We should introduce you to the rest of the crew.
I appreciate your cooperation. Though I imagine it is quite safe here. I would
So
prefer
far,
it if
so
I
good.
was not too far from you for the time being.
That's perfectly acceptable.
Excellent. After you then.
We don't know where we're going, do we? We should. have found that
She
out.
probably told you guys. Also, you can like
Oh, that's
calm her if you want.
That's true.
So we'll assume that you can get directions.
Yeah.
Cutting to the other party.
I was hoping that was in character.
You guys enter a. Oh yeah. Oh man, I stole a funny moment. I apologize.
It was in character, actually. I was.
Yeah, I was
Well,
gonna
it
say.
counts. Inspiration, James.
Right.
Does not
Sure
want
you
to
will
do
do
it,
it
that's
better
fine.
than I.
I would say Flair can be in many places by now. Let's just leave it at that.
I will be back in just a minute. Sorry.
Cutting to the other party. Claire, you, Ronan, and Zed enter a large indoor play area where you see kids milling about and playing. Some like sitting on like large floor cushions, like playing like games, and others on like a large indoor playset. And you guys scanning the area, you look and you see Leora kind of sitting off to the side on a bench reading from a tablet screen.
She'll put a hand up to everyone else to like indicate to wait here for a second. She'll slowly walk over to Leora and sit down next to her.
Okay.
Does she look up at all?
Yeah, she looks up from the tablet screen as you're getting close, and she says, "Flair, you're back already."
She'll smile at her and say, yes, a little earlier than I expected. But I'm glad to see you again. How are you doing?
Bored, mostly.
Well, I'm sure this place is full of boring things, but I promise you, the galaxy is full of very interesting things that will surprise you as long as you live.
If I ever get to go back out there.
Oh, don't worry, you will. And I'll boop her on the nose.
Like that cat did to you 5 seconds ago with the tail.
That's cat. She'll say, but you at least like it here, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's better than being in a box.
She kind of takes that in for a second, says, yes, it is. And I'll ruffle her hair, and I'll wave everybody else over.
I will
She'll kind of wave at you guys as you walk up.
wade through the children.
She's the one that can't forget anything, right?
What was that?
She's the one that can't forget anything, right? Last time we saw her, she has a photographic memory.
Weston digging deep.
Oh.
Yeah, I forgot about that. Not gonna lie.
Yeah, you guys. The last time you guys saw her, you discovered that it appears that she is very, very, very intelligent, borderline a genius.
Neat.
Yeah, so Zed'll say that. I'm sure she'll hear it.
Yeah. Her ears will perk up. She'll just say, "Hi, guys."
Well, you didn't miss much. Well, you missed a lot, but at least you didn't have to deal with any of it.
But hey, everybody's okay, right?
Yeah, everybody's okay. They are.
That's what matters.
She'll lean over and see what she's looking at on the tablet and just kind of make small talk with her for a bit.
Sure.
I just I'll look across the room as they're doing. This place is a nightmare.
As Zed says that,
Daycare.
As Zed says that, he lifts one of his legs off the ground and he starts shaking it because one of the smaller kids is wrapped himself around his leg in his boot, and he's basically just trying to shake this kid off of his leg.
I'll look
when
down
Nick was
at
I wade through the children, I was I imagine like a GI with the gun over his head, walking deep in a swamp, real slowly.
At this point,
yeah, as I'm shaking him off my leg, hey! Hey! I'll get in your face and
Get
yell
on
at
up there.
Flair
Yeah,
will look up at Zed, and she'll say, "See, Zed, it could be worse. I'm not that bad."
when you lean down in the kid's face and you do that, he sticks out his tongue and he just blows as hard as he can. And he just stays corpse in your face.
Zed'll just snort and just smile and just push him off his full palm on his head.
Yeah,
just push him off his leg.
Yeah, you just push him off and he drops on his ass. As this is happening, the kids near the entrance stop what they're doing and they all start to go, "Whoa!" as Vaz Bias and especially Sanguisan walk in, and they all start running up to you guys, and basically they're all just start wrapping their knuckles on your armor and stuff, because you guys have this ridiculously gaudy gold space armor on. It's just
I would bend down. Voss would bend down and kind of greet a couple of kids in front of him as he got in the room.
There's a sad smile on Yogar's face.
Flair will look up as they come in, and kind of loud enough for the room to hear. She'll say, "Look, everybody, space warriors!" And then she'll run up to Voss and start
the crowd of children gets larger around you guys.
I would say, seems you found more friends than we have in the past few minutes.
Say, "Oh, I don't really associate myself with these. They're too young."
These.
Looking back at
Ronan just snorts.
I'm just gonna pat Lear's shoulder as like the whole ruckus is going on over there.
As she sees that, Flair will look back at Voss and she'll say, "Yeah, I would never be friends with kids. That's weird."
Voss will kind of look at you and just like, just kind of shake his head, not say anything.
Who's your friend?
Let's say this
I'm
is
Yogar.
yes, Yogar. I'll let him introduce himself.
You're tall.
I get that often. It is, however, true. I'm surprised to see a Starborn. It is usual that I am the unique one in any given group. I see that is not to be the case here.
She'll laugh and she'll say, "Well, if you travel with us long enough, you'll soon learn that that's not the case among us." And then she'll run over and hug Sanguisan, and she'll look up at Yogar with like puppy dog eyes. She'll say, "You're not taking these two away from me, are you?"
Of course not.
He's coming with us.
Ooh, even better.
Is he now?
See,
Was he like your priest on the God Squad?
Flair shoots a look back at Ronan that's just like, "Don't."
don't make these new friends go away. What's wrong with you?
I'm just saying. Where are we ferrying this man?
Said
Yeah, what?
that's something we should discuss as a group.
And we should.
If it would be amenable, I have a small craft. If you have a docking bay. If not, you can always travel behind. You cannot lag too far.
Are you
These two are now under my protection.
on the God Squad?
He is a follower of Aisha as well.
If that is what you mean.
Hey, he
Oh,
can
yeah.
he can come on board. They're all.
Did we see? We saw his ship, right? Is it small enough to fit in the Valentine? Or is
Yeah,
just
it would
travel?
fit in one of the two shuttle bays that are on either side of the mountain.
Dope.
You Aisha folk.
So, we saw his ship set, and I think, if I'm correct, that his ship will fit in with the Valentine. Fit in the Valentine.
I think it's
Somebody-
okay.
If it'll make you guys feel less alienated,
I will. As Flair says that, I'll look at Flair and smile and say apology, and then I'll look back at Zed.
if it'll make you guys feel less alienated, I don't think I have anything to fear from a follower of Aisha.
Not unless you cross them.
Precisely.
Good thing no one's gonna do that.
Yeah. No one's gonna do that, right, boys? He's gonna look at Voss and smile because Voss understands sarcasm the most out of those two.
Yeah, I would say. If it could answer, that Void Titan back there might think differently, but
He's fine by me.
Yeah.
Or a
Yeah,
little
I would-
growing.
and I would look at Yogar and I would like gesture toward it and say Zed, Ronan, and Flair last, and all. Flair.
Pleasure to meet you both. You all. You keep good company.
I'm gonna look to Ronan. And yeah, our family's growing. And I'll put my hand out and shake.
I will clasp it with two hands. And like
He'll be like, yeah.
It's not that weird. It's just like
Yeah, he'll just be a little like, oh, yeah. That makes sense.
Oh, right.
yeah, same percentage of hands, you know.
Same percentage of it.
After he shakes Zed's hand, Flair will go up to him and just kind of stare up at him for a little bit, and then she'll put out a hand.
I will do the same.
As you shake her hand, she kind of like watches you for a couple of seconds. She says, "Would it be weird if I hugged you?"
It would be unusual for me, but if that is your custom...
She kind of looks back at everybody with like this huge shit-eating grin on her face, and she'll say, "Yes, custom," and then she just goes and hugs him.
Yes.
Inspiration.
Thank you.
Starborn. Yes.
I will
she'll-
gently clasp you for
Yeah.
a couple seconds.
She'll take a step back and she'll say, like kind of walking towards everybody. She'll point a thumb back at Yogar and she'll say, "This guy can do twice as many finger guns as I can. I say he's good in my book."
I am not one for firearms, generally speaking.
Inspiration.
Yeah.
Zet'll smile and be like, "This is gonna be fun."
I'll walk
And he'll
past you,
smile
Claire,
and Ronan.
and I'll like kind of wade. I'll wade through the children as well, and kind of like saying to Flair, and how is Leor, and how are you? And I'll like get down and like greet her.
She'll look back at Leora and then back to you, and she'll say, "She seems okay. She's a bit bored, which concerns me more than anything else, but in due time, they'll give her more interesting things to do. For me, I don't know. I'm just trying to think ahead, that's all." And she'll start, like, stroking.
Very
his hair.
wise.
I would look at Flair. I would get up and like put a hand on Flair's shoulder and say, and a new friend is a good start.
I agree. Plus, he has a cool bow.
See, he has a very interesting bow. That's true.
He'll smile.
How many people have you killed with that?
Yeah, how many?
As many as Aisha has
I will
decreed.
full on take out a cigarette and start to light it up as he says that. And then look at all the kids. And just shrug and light it anyway.
Leor walks up and kicks you in the thigh. What the
Zed,
fuck
you know
do you
better-
think you're doing?
You know better than to smoke it. Leor, where did you learn that?
She'll shrug at you.
Were you hanging out with Rax again?
No.
Well, if you're gonna hang out with anyone here, it should probably be Rax.
Yeah, he'll,
Definitely not Colette.
Nah, she's alright.
he'll be like, you're probably right. Nice to meet you. And start walking out of the room and light it up again.
You walk out of the room, and you light your cigarette.
I'll actually follow him.
Sure. Yeah. You light your cigarette, and almost immediately somebody else looks at you and says, "What do you think you're doing? This is a non-smoking facility."
I'm gonna look him up and down. Was that perception?
Yeah, sure. Go ahead. What are you trying to do? You trying to see if you can fight him?
How intimidating is this person?
He doesn't look particularly intimidating, but he looks like he's like actively part
He's
of
a
the league.
stickler
Like,
for the rules, for sure.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
what are you
After
doing? Like
yeah, after the
smoking's
four-
not healthy, and we don't do that here.
yeah, after the 14 and seeing him say that, it's like, yeah, go tell Doyen's song on me, and they'll just light it up anyway. You want one? And then he'll look to it.
All right, sure.
How do I say it?
You say that
Yogar.
Yogar.
So how does Yogar? Okay, yeah, I'll look. You want
That's
one?
while we run.
To Yogar.
It is alright. I simply prefer not to be around children when I can avoid it.
You lose track of the last of his words as your mind gets slightly muddled, and then somebody says, "Put that out."
Yeah, he'll just sigh and put it on the bottom of his boot. and put
Boy,
it
you
behind
took
his
that
ear.
appeal up the chain of command, man. Supreme Court decision. No smoking.
That's right. Hey, he was bluffing, and you know. Yeah, he'll put it out on his boot and just put it behind his ear.
Change of heart.
Yeah, okay. Got it. That's annoying.
Flare, inside the playground. Technically, you know, because of the technology available on your ship, that you could probably go in your ship and seal it and smoke in there and be just fine, because it wouldn't like you have like.
I'm not gonna bail on them, but I'm gonna keep it in my ear.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, like, over the next 2 to 3 days, you would have somewhere to smoke. It's just you can't walk around smoking cigarettes.
Gotcha.
Tell me. You mind if I cut in?
No, go ahead.
Tell me, how did you come to be with Sanguisan and Voss? Or Voss, I don't know that he's called Voss.
That was to you, Weston.
No, I didn't have anything else. I was just
No, Yogar's just asking you.
Oh, I was asking, like, how did...
Oh, no, he's so... I can't even hear him.
Oh.
Sorry, it's the voice is kind of low and... and I'm a natural mumbler.
I could not, I literally could not even hear it sound. I'm sorry.
I said, tell me, how did you come to know Sanguisan and Voss?
We'll just kind of do that and, I kind of tricked them into helping me, and one of them died, and I feel kind of guilty. Not too bad, though. They're good people.
Right, put it.
Whatever happened to Voss? It seems it was part of some greater plan. I won't hold it against you. And he'll kind of smirk.
My thanks. He'll smirk back. Yeah, he's just gonna rub his eyes and just wait for whatever's going on in the room to finish.
As this is happening inside Flare, you feel a thrum in your mind, and then you hear Doyen's song say, "It's time. Gather your fellows and meet at the council ship office."
Flare will perk up and get everybody's attention and say that we need to get to the council ASAP.
Oh.
And then she'll actually go back over. Oh no, Lior's over here. She'll like kneel down and say goodbye to Lior and make sure she's doing all right.
Come back soon.
Give her a couple finger guns, and she'll say, "Don't worry, I'll be back as soon as I can."
Okay. As you guys gather together in the hall and then leave to your audience with the council, we're going to take our break. Gather together. All of you reach kind of like the council chambers.
It's ironic because he's in Russia.
Yeah.
Right.
You're led into a large open chamber through a central path with stands on either side of you, where you see actually a fairly large audience is sitting. Across from you, along the kind of this gleaming floor, is a slightly raised platform where 4 figures sit at a U of conjoined tables. On the far left, I'm sorry, 5 figures sit, because I remember the lore that I wrote. On the far left, you see a middle-aged Gaian, kind of like a thick graying beard, who kind of leans forward with his fingers interlocked across the table in front of him, watching all of you. And then next to him, a tall, heavy-set Kaltal in deep blue and black robes. Third from the left, you see and recognize Doyen Song. And then next to her, a Averin with... you can tell from the Averin's form that they're feminine, but they've got the hood pulled up over their face, and you can just see kind of 2 glowing eyes underneath in the shadow of it. And last, you see a Dran wearing his own set of light blue and gold-rimmed robes, standing kind of silently. And as your party enters, he kind of cocks his head and looks at all of you. And last, your party sees a figure enter the room from the back, looking over all of you, and then taking a seat at the center of the tables, in between all the rest of them. I mean, you would be able to be in the audience if you wanted.
Okay. I mean, yeah, but if it wasn't any trouble, then yeah.
Yeah,
sure.
no. They probably would have just like asked the group, "Is this somebody you want in the audience?" As long as they were cool with you being in
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
This last figure is a tall. Trying to get back to it. A tall male Kandurian, who are the species that's replacing the Thalmor. He has a slight build. You notice that he has kind of like a thick, almost like platy, scaly skin. And kind of his light form kind of steps forward, and he looks at over all of you, and he nods his head to everyone, and all the like, little conversations off to the side of the in these seats amongst the audience members immediately just kind of die away. And then he sits at his seat, and he kind of smiles at all of you, and he says, "And I believe there was one more." And Irian stands up, nods his head, and steps down from the audience chambers and moves to stand next to you guys, kind of in line in front of them. And once Irian does that, he looks over all of you and he says, "I am Intrarin Illusk. I am the Grand Doyen of the Lore Seekers League, and I lead the council." He motions to those sitting around him. "We were hoping to get an account, as accurate as all of you can be, on the events of this exploration."
I forget, did you say we're seated or we're still standing?
You're standing. You guys notice that as you kind of take the places that are, it's almost like they're marked, like they feel like natural spots to stand on the floor in front of them. Mm-hmm. You do notice that this kind of like slick metallic ground shimmers slightly, and then parts of it kind of raise up to form small like surfaces in front of you guys in case there's anything you guys want to put out in front of you or anything like that. It does appear that it's designed for you to remain standing.
Flair will take a step forward and she'll say, she'll probably bow to each one of them, starting with the Grand Doyen. And she'll say, have I met all of them before? Or at least like seen them?
Yeah, you've met all of them.
I'm familiar with them. Okay. Yeah, she'll take a step forward and bow, and she'll say, Doyens of the Lore Seekers League. Myself and my companions were sent to Avara to investigate the disappearance of Irian, and if at all possible, bring him back. And we were successful in our mission. However, there were some heavy losses, and some knowledge was accrued that... What am I trying to say here? Some knowledge was accrued that we did not expect to see. And I mean, she'll start going into detail about, like, the quote-unquote zombies that we saw, and, like, the pool, and all that stuff. I don't know how in character you want me to be, but...
I mean, it's up to you. They listened intently to everything that you tell them. Claire... Keep going.
I was going to say, she would go into detail about that, and then she would bring up... she'd bring up the tablets as well, and eventually bring up Armand Call. And she would say that her and her friend Isel were killed while in this chamber, and she came back, but Heisel was able to stay behind with Amon Call and prevent the King in the Undergrowth?
Yeah.
King in the Undergrowth from spreading his influence further amongst the temple. She would also mention the couple of losses on Urian's side as well.
Yeah, and he nods his head at that, and the Kaltal kind of grumbles, and he says, "Yes, Urian gave us his full account." And Doyen Song smiles, and she says, "And he couldn't help himself, but mention all of your heroics as well."
She would light up a little bit upon hearing that. She'll say it was a very harrowing experience, but I'm glad that most of us were able to get out okay. Especially with the knowledge of Amon Call and the power of the temple intact.
She nods her head, and she says, "Yes, indeed. We will be sending response teams down." And they all kind of nod to each other, just to make sure everything is cleared up. It seems that all of you saved the day.
Claire would look kind of worried, and she would say, the temple that we investigated was quite dangerous, and it seemed to be there seemed to be death around every corner in unexpected ways. If any further expeditions were to go down there, I think, and she'll kind of look back at everybody and she'll say, I think my friends and I would at least be able to, as well as Irian, at least be able to present some semblance of a map to help them through, as it is quite a labyrinth.
Intrarin will nod his head, and he will say, "Yes, we would like a recount to the best of all of yours accuracy of all the passages on the side that you traveled. However, correspondence has already been made with leadership at the Biodome, and we we're awaiting further permissions, and simply telling Melina and her striders that we are prepared to help with further investigation should they need it."
Boss will kind of clear his throat in like a pause and say, and it should also be noted, and pardon my interruption, but the undeath that we saw, the bringing back of Averin, of creatures in the forest, of things in the temple, was not, as we found out, and he'll like gesture to Sanguisan and say, it was not the type of undeath that we are trained to deal with. It was something entirely different, and our methods were somewhat ineffective. Just thought it should be noted.
Completely ineffective.
Completely ineffective.
This is worrisome news. Tell me, were there any details you learned of these mysterious creatures? Anything
There was
helpful in research of them?
There was a substance that we found multiple times while exploring and uncovering places, and it seemed to be the source of how these creatures were being resurrected, almost used. It almost seemed as though this substance was using them in some way.
And I would imagine the two of you intend to report these findings to the lighthouse with some haste?
I'd look at Sanguisan.
Yes, we would.
He'll nod his head and say, then pass on to the Hearth Council that Char and Ilesk in the Lore Seekers League are also investigating. Worry. Should any shared information arrive, it could perhaps benefit all of us to know.
I will let them know.
It's always a good day when new allies are made.
Flair will speak up and she'll say, if I may request to accompany them to this lighthouse, there are aspects of this mission that I discovered that I would like to seek further. I will continue to report back what I can. But there's more to the galaxy that I think I would like to see. She kind of like flash a glance at Song when she says that.
And Charin and the rest of the Doyens kind of watch you as you say this. Sorry, 1 second. Watch you as you say this, and then kind of look around. They all kind of like exchange glances and short smiles. And Doyen Song stands up and walks around from behind the conjoined table, and walks so she's standing across from your table, and she says, "Flair, you've finished your first exploration. I believe the real thing is in order." And she lays out like an actual explorer's badge for you.
Dope.
Yeah, she lights up and starts like bouncing on her toes, and then kind of like catches herself and stops. And she'll kind of like stand tall with her hands at her sides, and she'll say, actually she'll bow and she'll say, this is an honor I could have only hoped of achieving. I will not waste this opportunity.
She smiles. She says, stand still, stand still. And as you kind of straighten and stand still, she pops your other badge off and attaches this one to your uniform.
Under
And
my
then
breath.
then she gives you a long hug.
Under my breath, Tyrone. That makes us junior explorers. The smile.
Shakes her head.
She breaks the hug, and as she does, she turns and she smiles at Zed. And then she says, as for the rest of you, based upon your heroics, as well as strong recommendation from Irian kind of smiles, gives you guys a thumbs up.
Zed'll like look at him like, what?
You are all seen as honored allies, and welcome here at Lore Seeker Station if you should need to stay for any reason. In addition, full payment for your exploration will be given. Each of you have had 2,000 credits credited to your account.
Oh.
Irian
Nice.
has chosen to donate his party's findings, the share that would have gone to him, to all of you. Now,
Well, alright.
we also did a little research, and after much consultation and defense from Doyen Song, we have decided that while we cannot allow active criminals in any sector of the galaxy to be part of our merry band of friends, we might try to pull some strings and take care of this problem for you.
He's just gonna rub his chin.
Yes.
Flair looks back at the two of you with like a completely dumbfounded look.
Consider yourself on a clean slate with the Gaian sector of this galaxy, should you need to travel through it. But don't expect help of that. Well, gravity again.
Magnitude, yeah.
Ronan will give a curt bow.
Guys, it'll just have his hands up a clean slate.
Sarah
Put his hands.
turns to you say that's Ed, and she'll say yes. Try not to dirty it.
Yeah, he's just gonna like itch his nose and. He'll just like do exaggerate about my thanks.
I'll lean into Zed and kind of whisper, "See what caring about something gets you?" And with like a big smirk on my face.
He's just gonna be very rigid and not respond and look to him and then look back.
I did say 2,000
forward.
credits. Money. She'll nod her head and say, "Now, should you need to stay a few extra days, you are more than welcome. And should you need any aid that we can provide, we will try to provide it for you. But take your time as your crew to determine your future plans."
Just looked around. Okay.
Voss will little with a slight bow, like a little bow.
And with that, we kind of Star Wars fade to the evening. You guys are alone back aboard the Valentine. Yogar, you just gotten the tour.
I'll walk him to his room. And one sec. And I'll walk to the corner and slap it with my fist and take out a carton of cigarettes and then slap it back down. That's yours. And then walk out.
If we're gathered together, I'll say, so we should have this discussion on where to go next now. Sanguisan and I have been called on to appear at the lighthouse to talk with their council and Aisha, I would assume, as well. That is why they sent our new friend. I'll just start a Yogar. And it was important enough for them to send someone to find us. But, obviously. But if there's something more pressing, this is an option. This is an option we can do.
I mean, I'm all for going to the lighthouse, but are they going to give Ronan any shit?
Say, I don't know. I've never been there.
I'm with you guys at this point, right?
Yeah. I would assume.
I believe you
I
are.
would not expect a warm welcome.
Well, Ronan. My ship, you're the pilot. Where do you want to go?
I'll take you wherever you need to go. But I might just stay on the ship if we go to the lighthouse.
Boss will shrug, look at Sanguisan and Yogar.
Yogar is silent.
If she's okay with it, and it's not Emeritus, I'm okay with it.
Sounds like you can go back to Emeritus now, though.
She said
Tentatively.
clean slate with the
Would
law.
you want
Not,
to?
I have interest in Emirates, but
I'd
let's
say
just consider them not attainable at this moment.
and as I said, this is an option. It's not I would like to go there, obviously, but where does everyone else want to go?
I
We
mean,
are
this is-
somewhat directionless.
these are my options, and I'll pull up like different bounties, you know, and I'll just like scratch my chin. But I have learned today. Well, not today. I've learned that let people have their moment. Voss, Sanguisan, Flare. He'll look back to Flare. But then look back to Voss. Have your moment.
Flair will look to Voss and Sanguisan and Yogar too, actually, and she'll say, "Do you think your friends at the lighthouse, or I guess Aisha, would know anything more about those creatures we fought, or anything about the temple?"
That is something I would like to find out as well.
It's very
Your
possible.
account earlier is beyond my understanding. I am far from the most knowledgeable person at the lighthouse. In fact, I am rarely there.
Well, it seems like if anyone would know, it might be them. I say we go there and see what they have to say, and maybe see if they know anything about what we faced in there. It might help. Well, it might help me at least.
Well, I'm for getting Flare closure. Aye. And look to Ronan.
If Zed's content, then I'm content. Although that's not always the case.
I'm saying you can stay on the ship if you wish. I don't think that will be necessary, but if you wish it.
We'll see.
As you guys settle on your choice, you hear the cargo bay door open and see a figure walking up the ramp. And coming into the light that hangs over where the ramp evens out into the floor, you see Doan Song. She says, "Good. All of you are here. Tomorrow evening, we're having an explorer's funeral for those that
Jeez.
did not make it back. Irian has urged us to propose that Isel be a part of this ceremony."
It's awfully kind of him.
He says, though he did not know your friend long, they had the heart of one of our own.
If Isel had lived, he would have become a lore seeker.
Sounds good.
We'll prepare him with the others and see you tomorrow evening. And as she leaves and you guys settle in for the night, there are full amenities at Lore Seeker's Station. If you guys would like to settle into any kind of strategic resupplying or anything before you have to leave again.
Well, I buy a lot of bullets.
Calculate how many bullets do you want to buy?
I gotta see how much they cost.
I don't know if we have bullets in the money thing.
We don't.
How much would a Well, my gun holds larger than a regular clip, so
Yeah.
I guess go by regular, just one bullet at a time, and then it has to be handgun sized.
Yeah, hand cannon sized.
Yeah, hand cannon sized.
I'm gonna say that you can buy your gun goes by 10.
Yes.
I'm gonna say that you can buy like 10 rounds for 30 credits.
Okay. Yeah, I'm just gonna buy 1,000 rounds.
Okay, yeah, you can fit them on your ship.
Yeah, I'm gonna slip them into my room in convenient places.
Hand cannon under the pillow, hand cannon under the other pillow.
Yeah, you know.
They also have amenities towards like more exotic things, even like augmentations. Possibly.
That was what my question was going.
I was gonna ask.
You're spending $3,000 on ammo?
No, 300. Yeah, 1,000 rounds.
They're like,
Oh wait, no, I messed
it's
up.
30 per 10.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
30 to 10,
Yeah.
so yeah. No, okay, so yeah, no, I spend $3,000. I'm down
mean-
with
Alright.
that. Hey man,
I mean, if you don't spend it, Matt's just gonna find a way to take it away from us. So
Well,
Well, that's not true. I'm saving up for something.
I am content with my life. Don't take it away from me.
Don't take it away from me. I have the power of God.
You can't take the sky from me.
Zed goes to the armory and says, "I'd like to order all of your bullets." And he goes, "I don't think you heard me."
I don't think you heard. No, he brings
What you
out.
heard was, "I'd like all the bullets."
He brings
Yeah.
out. Yeah, he brings out 20. No,
does
no,
anybody
no.
else want to get anything? Restock on anything? You can also get med kits and healing potions here.
I'm just while they're all shopping, I'm gonna contact Colette.
Sure. What do you want to do? You ring her on her like personal computer?
Yeah.
Sure. What do you want to say?
Pardon the intrusion, but would you be interested in joining me for a meal?
When the screen pops open, you kind of see like her shoulder bent over something as her back's facing you, and you see sparks flying from something that she's like working on.
Point of order before we go any further. We discovered over the break that I confused Colette and Lior. Colette is the one when I said, "Oh, your mom's hot," and she's like, "You realize I can't forget that." She's the one who has the photograph memory, not Lior.
Oh, yeah, true. Lior is really smart, though.
Yes.
So that was one of the reasons why Flair wanted to introduce her to Colette.
Yes.
Colette turns and she snaps and she looks around and she says, "Huh, interesting. I was just thinking about you. Definitely bring me some grub." And then the screen cuts off.
I
Noise.
chuckle, and I will go source some food.
Sure.
And meet up with Colette.
Ronan disappears. Ronan disappears for the day.
Hey, be back. Whenever, actually, I don't care. As I'm jacket off, like hair back, just like pushing rounds in the hidden spaces.
Just hiding bullets all over the ship.
Hey, man.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Flair would spend all of her free time in her room with the door locked.
That's hilarious. Because Flair, I'd knock on her door.
No, I mean,
I left something in there that I need.
You hear the door unlock, and she'll open it. She's like rubbing her eyes, and she's in like her pajamas, and she'll say, "What do you want?"
He'll just push past you, go underneath your bed. Nothing under there? Yeah?
No.
Alright, I'm gonna hit a compartment and pull out a carton of cigarettes. Not for you. I need to like boop you on the nose.
Have those been there the whole time?
It was just Ronan and I before. Come on.
You know those aren't good for anybody, especially kids. She like yawns.
That's why I'm taking them.
Fair enough. Can I go back to bed now?
Yeah, I don't care. Go.
Okay.
It'll just
Like close the
slam
door.
the-
and
yeah.
lock it.
Yeah, I don't care. Go. God.
Is anybody else doing anything expenditure-wise?
Oh, I was gonna ask, is it cool if, like, I start with like 2 med kits or something, or?
Yes, you do have 2 med kits.
Okay.
Actually, you have 3.
I guess I could just take that out of my starting.
Oh.
I mean, technically, your starting money is there for you to buy whatever you want.
For sure.
But you do have 3 med kits from. Who do we lose?
Cool. And then
Musicbot.
the question that I just asked in text.
I'll be back. I have to go check somebody in real quick to my apartments. So I'll be back.
Okay.
I did not get a text from you. That was a question.
Oh no! Like in like the chat on Roll20. Just is there like a small living quarters or something on my craft?
Yes, there is. It's basically like living in your van, though.
Yeah. With the fancy toilet sink combo from Firefly.
Boss, you're good. Sanguisan, you're good.
I think so. I think I'm gonna save my
Man, everyone's,
meditation on this one.
everyone's saving for something big now.
Not me. I spent almost all my money on bullets.
I feel like there's nothing like expensive that I'll ever spend money on.
I just really want some. I want that dope armor, even though I already have dope. Sharp, but tank's got a tank.
Alright, with that, we will fast forward time to the evening. The hangar bay has been cleared.
Would it be possible for me to do something before we leave the ship to
Yes, would you like to
attend that? Having heard about Isel,
Yeah.
could I meditate?
Yes, you did.
Sorry, the music got crazy loud. And attempt to speak with him.
Yeah. Sure. Yeah, so,
You're a Strider?
as everyone else settles into their evenings, Yogar, you spend 10 minutes meditating, and you slip out of your body into your spiritual form and enter the ethereal plane. The moment you entered the Valentine, you felt an incredible connection to a very powerful, warm presence that seemed to be kind of watching over this ship. And you feel that more so now, as Isel's small form breaks from the trees and greets you, the Ledborough.
Yoga just kind of like bows in deference and says, I have heard much about you these past 2 days. It is not my intent to plant you or take your place, any such thing. I did not know that these people I have come to travel with had lost one such as us so recently. I hope I have your blessing. To which Isel replies, I was sad to leave them under such circumstances. Though I am sure you will not replace me, such as I was. I am glad that they have someone watching over them. Go with my blessing. And do not think too poorly. The reputations of some. This is a family. It is one that I grew to love. One that grew to love me. I ask only for your understanding. And, Yogar will kind of look a little puzzled for a second, but he'll just nod. And say, I'm sure this is not the last time we will speak. But it is good to see you, to meet you. Farewell. That's the end of that. I don't ever really want to do that again.
Good job, buddy.
But I came to it and I was like, oh fuck, I would definitely not be comfortable not doing that.
Yeah.
Anyways.
Cutting to the evening. Sorry. Make sure I got that. You've all listened as various speeches and such have been given about those who were lost. And eventually, as the procession continues and one by one, these coffins are encased and then shot out, as you can see, past the force field that covers the hangar bay into space. You reach the last two. Irian steps forward and puts a gloved hand on one of the closed caskets, and then looks out over the audience and putting his other hand to his chest, and he says, I left my microwave on. He says, what can I tell all of you about our friend, our ally, our brother, Fula Evandaren? A hero to us all. A true example of the explorer's life. And he just kind of nods his head solemnly and looks down sadly and kind of pats the casket again before placing the fan that you guys found in the on it. And then as he steps away and the audience looks out over the two caskets, and and Charin Ilesk will turn in his ceremonial robes to all of you, and he'll say, any words you would like to give? And he'll step away. Sorry guys, it had to get really sad one last time.
This is when both of them are being
it's technically it's going to be Fula first,
Fula
and then Isel. Isel's the last person.
Yeah.
But I figured on the off chance that one of you might want to say something about oh good, Nick's back. Thank God. Nick,
Surely
return,
Ronan
sorry.
would like to sing Fula's praises.
Got really serious.
Nick, we've
No,
all
it
said
didn't.
something good about Fula. Now it's your turn.
No. Okay. For reals. For reals. Irian spoke, and he placed the fan on Fula's casket. The funeral ceremony's going on, and like the caskets are being like launched out after people say whatever they want to say. And after he stepped away, they've given you guys space to say anything you want to say about Fula before he's shot off, if you want to say anything. And then Isel before Isel is.
Yep. Zeta look around and seeing that no one's standing up. He'll stand up and put his hand on it. He was loved and looking at you and wasn't afraid to speak his mind. And he'll just pat it twice and sit back down.
Flair will kind of say from where she's standing, she's kind of like looking down and like stroking on the scarf, but she'll say it loud enough for everyone to hear. She'll say, Lore Seekers are family. And I hate to see one of my brothers go. She'll just kind of look up at Zed as he walks back.
Yeah, he'll put his arm around you, pull you closer.
And they'll
I'll kind of tap my spear on the ground. I don't know how this works exactly. I'll tap the spear on the cannon and I'll cast Bless on like Isel body to try to get rid of the
this
blow.
This is Fula.
Fula.
Oh, Fula. Oh, okay.
Fula gets launched, and then as they prepare Isel's coffin,
I'll get as my arms around Flair. I'll give him a little salute with 2 fingers from his forehead.
they would give your guys' characters time to say anything you want to say before he receives the explorer's funeral.
Yeah, Ronan will stand up and say, Isel was a very curious individual, and their curiosity extended to those around them as well. We all know that Isel isn't truly gone, but there's a deep sadness that I think that will echo throughout our group for quite some time. Ronan will give a bow and then tap the coffin and then sit down.
Look down to Flair and nod and stand up and look, Isel. As bad as it sounds, Isel helped me feel again. And I know this says more about me than him, but this isn't about me. This is about him. He was someone that could do that. And it's pretty special. Now I'm just gonna have to care for what he cared for. He'll look back with Flair, smiling. Bye, Isel. Just hit it and sit back down.
Boss would stand up and say, family is not is not a happy concept for me. And I'm not saying, and this group has started to become my family in such a short time. Losing part of your family is never easy, but losing a chosen family member, not just one that you started out with, losing a chosen family member is hard to manage and impossible to replace. He's watching over us from wherever he is. And that is the comfort we can take. You were frank and you were honest and you were genuine, Isel. Things that I have not mastered in my life. You will be missed and remembered very, very well. And then I'll kind of go up and I'll tap next to tap my spear down and cast Bless on the coffin, or on Isel, I guess. Then I'll sit.
Okay. Two of you just get taken in.
I mean, I'll look around, see that, and I'll just tap Flair's shoulder.
Yeah, she'll wipe both of her eyes, and she'll stand up, still wearing the scarf, and she'll go over and she'll say, when I first met Isel, we were both lost souls looking for our place in the galaxy. He was knowledgeable, but didn't have the experience. I had some experience, but was too blind to learn from it. And he helped me see that every action has lessons, and every word can be an action in of itself. I don't know that I'll ever meet someone like him again. And then she'll look back at everybody and she'll say, but at least I have my friends to remind me that the galaxy is full of opportunities, and there's always another star in the sky. And wherever I go, Isel will still be there to teach me new things. And then she'll put her hand on the coffin, and she'll cast message targeting Isel. She knows it's not going to work, but she'll kind of like channel white bands of magic through her arms at the coffin and sort of just like look at it for a couple moments, and then she'll wipe her eyes and she'll go sit next to Zed again.
Zed'll pull her in again with one arm over her shoulder.
She just kind of like sinks into you.
Mm-hmm. He just sits watching the coffin.
Alright. That's everybody. They load the coffin. You guys watch Isel get launched out in space.
No.
It takes a couple more days as you guys prepare yourselves for your further travels. And as we move forward to our next scene, we find you guys ready to leave Lore Seeker's station, refueled, courtesy of the Lore Seekers, and Rax, who probably just did it under the table and is going to write it off in the books somehow.
Boy.
And you find 3 people waiting to say goodbye to you guys. You find, still with a slight limp and one arm in a sling, Irian smiling next to Colette, and also Doyen Song, and 4 people, and Rax. Rax smiles at all of you and he says, "Don't worry, I got those upgrades done. Ship's gonna be much more protected should you run into anything while you're flying out there."
We shouldn't be running into anything, if I have anything to say about it.
Scratch my chin and look back at it. And good. Look back.
He'll smile at you, Ronan, and he'll say, call it a solid plan B. And you guys notice Colette kind of pull Ronan aside for a private conversation as Irian walks up, sticks out a hand towards you, Zed.
Yeah. I'll
You all fly safe out there, adventurers.
I'll put my hand on his shoulder and wink and slip a Queen of Hearts card from my hand and hand it to him.
He'll smile and he'll pocket it and say, "Always finds her way back to me."
You're all right.
And then he moves his hand to you, Sanguisan. Big guy.
Shake his hand.
And you, Voss, as well.
I'd say, stay safe.
You too. Come back when you guys are ready to delve another tomb with me.
Definitely.
Is that just gonna
Deception check.
Dragon tail. Definitely.
Is that just gonna scratch his hairline and just
What are everyone's passive perceptions?
12?
Not really good. 11.
14.
17.
Yogar, Sanguisan, you both notice that Colette's sneaking some kisses.
Oh. Look, I already
What color are Ronan's eyes?
Fine, guys.
What color are Ronan's eyes?
Ronan's eyes are. Hold on, let me look at my chart.
Bright red, high alert.
Are
Banner.
Bloodshot?
they are pink.
The erection.
Ronan's eyes are pink.
As Colette says her goodbye, and Rax says his goodbye, and Irian as well, Doyen Song steps out, and she motions to Rax as he's about to leave. Oh, yeah. And he moves off to the side, and then he comes back holding a large wrapped package. And Doyen Song holds out a hand and kind of lifts it telekinetically and moves it across and in front of you, Flare. And she says, "I've had Rax and some others working on this for a while. We had some specialists brought in from Aperture as well. It's a device designed specifically to aid you in further explorations."
She looks surprised.
It's okay. Open your present. I'm very proud of you.
She'll kind of look up at her for a couple moments, wide-eyed, and then she'll open it.
Just something to fully cement the amount of pride I have in you reaching Explorer. It means everything to me.
Oh, hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
No.
I don't even need to read it. but I'm gonna read.
Amazing.
Ah, there's 4 ways of ignoring difficult terrain.
You have a very redundant ability.
Yeah, that's okay.
You know what? That's powerful. So
That's
That
pretty
is super
good.
cool.
That
I really
is-
just want to believe that like Matt had this all written up except for the smooth ride bit, and they just added that on as soon as the session started.
I added it on, and then I was like, maybe I should come up with something else. And I was like, that really just makes sense. And
Yeah.
there has to be a makes sense portion to the world. Unfortunately,
Oh man.
she'll like unbox it or unwrap it or whatever, and she'll go wide eyed and she'll kind of like take it out and hold it up, and she'll say, "Whoa, I've seen these things in the holovids. These things go crazy fast." And she's gonna like look back at everybody with just like this ridiculous smile on her face.
Rax is gonna smile at you and say, "Oh, you've never seen nothing like this, kid. This is custom, unique, one of a kind."
Her jaw drops, and she'll like she's gonna like really quickly hand it to Zed, just kind of like thrust it onto him, and she's gonna run to Rex and give him a hug, and then do the same thing for her.
he'll do like the spin thing you do with like a
doing.
surf skateboard, you know, the nail tail in the nose and just spin it. It's like looking at it while you're doing this, just like.
They both give you big hugs.
I as he's doing that with the Thunderbolt, I'm going to say no. That you said you were going to protect her, right? Means you will have to childproof the ship.
I already
No,
took the
she-
cigarettes out of her room.
I'm saying, I kind of like my eye would like twitch as you say that. And
Flair will look back and say, "It's true, he did."
Although there may be rounds in there. I'm not. I did it in a fever.
Yeah, I'm just gonna say to Zed, Sal's gonna have a fit.
Oh. Sal's never not had a fit.
It is pretty large, flare, but it's made of like advanced materials, which make it much lighter than you'd expect it to be.
Mhm.
It's something that you could like strap on your back, kind of like a fighter would strap a greatsword on their back,
Mm,
and then like
Dope.
use or put back and that kind of thing.
gotcha.
Pretty awesome. So dope.
When
Yeah.
she gets done hugging him, I'll hand it back to Flair. You gotta let me try it sometime, yeah?
Yeah, of course.
I'm
Tell you
looked at
what, you
What's
write this, and I'll run, and I'll still beat you.
I don't doubt that. Say with a smile, he's still like spinning it.
Just shakes her head.
He'll give it to you. And look to Dorian and wink.
She'll roll her eyes.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll get out of here. Stay safe.
You cut out.
All if you need.
Oh,
Yeah, you cut out for me.
Oh yeah, you're very robotic.
Am I back now? Am I okay?
Nope.
No.
Eh,
When... Alright, is that better?
yes.
Yes.
Yep.
Alright, cool. She says,
Ah,
"Oh,
No,
that,
you're
that was Epicurus. It's not. That's our problem." Yeah. No. She says, "Well, this time, all of you get out of here and fly safe. You never know what you're going to find out in the stars."
Thank you for your hospitality. I look forward to a alliance of sorts between the lighthouse and the Lorsi.
It is an unprecedented path ahead of us, and it will require new ways of thinking.
You are wise.
I spent a lot of time thinking myself. As do you, I would imagine.
Yes. Though I find my thoughts tend to dwell on lesser things.
She nods her head. All of you get on your ship and leave Lore Seeker Station and begin your journey to the lighthouse. As our session ends.
As we're walking on to the Valentine, I'll look to Voss. I lost Urian. You're gonna have to learn how to play cards, okay? I'll teach you.
Let's say, who says I do not know how to play them already?
Why don't you jump in then?
Got him.
Sure, why not?
As soon as
Why
we get
keep
on the
it
ship,
two?
Flare jumps on the board and starts riding it around.
Technically, it requires attunement, so
Oh, true. She does that first.
you spend 2 minutes in the manual.
I don't know if anyone heard
2 in the
me.
morning.
I was responding to Zed, or to Voss.
Oh, I didn't even hear you. What the heck?
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, I
I
wouldn't
feel like
hear
it's
you.
going to be a recurring problem. But,
I have you turned up.
I
but
was-
think
I
Discord's
have you
trying
turned
to
up
glitch out.
too. Yeah.
I know, it's just, like, his voice is problematic.
Discord's been really rough tonight, though. Too.
Yeah.
Yes,
What did
it
you
has.
say?
But, I was going to say, why keep it to 2? Surely 3 would make for a better game.
We got 3 now. He'll look to Ronan, smiling, like so excited.
I don't like him already.
We haven't canonically seen Zed and Ronan play cards with each other, right?
Ronan doesn't play cards with me.
No, we have not seen them play cards together.
Hilarious.
Ronan beat my ass.
Yeah, I kind of like to think that Zed doesn't ask her to play because she wins all the time.
Yeah.
It's just like this hilarious like canon like back thing that like
When he has like a
Jelly
0%
that-
chance of cheating against her.
yeah.
Yeah, he cheats against everyone, but Ronan always catches like, you fucker. You're not allowed to play with me.
Nick, you are
He
so
catches me
lucky.
cheat.
You are so lucky that my passive perception prevented me from seeing you in Colette. Flair would literally never let you live that down ever.
That's hilarious.
Zed already assumes it, but has no
Oh.
proof of it.
Great session, guys.
That's why her eyes were pink.